Hello guys, and welcome back to another Windows Beta build tutorial. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the Windows 8 developer preview. Now this actually comes as another video request by the Antivirus Reviewer, and I would like to thank him for suggesting this build, as well as a few other Windows 8 builds that we're probably going to be taking a look at as well. But today we're going to be taking a look at the Windows 8 developer preview, which was unveiled on September 13th, 2011 at Microsoft's Build Conference, and it was Build 8.102. And something that I found pretty interesting about this event is that everyone that actually went to the event got a Samsung tablet that was basically just given out to them to show them what direction Microsoft was heading in with Windows 8, and how it would actually run on like an actual tablet. An actual download of this build for non-attendees of the event was made available later in the day, and you could either get a 32-bit edition, a 64-bit edition, or a 64-bit edition with developer tools. Microsoft also announced the Windows Store, but it was not available at the time. And according to Microsoft, there were about 535,000 downloads of this developer preview build within the first 12 hours of its release, which is pretty amazing, because this build is not even a final version, or not even like a Windows update. This was pretty much intended to show developers what direction Microsoft was going in with their next version of Windows. And I also thought that since Windows 9 has been rumored to be coming out pretty soon, I decided it would be cool just to take a look back at what Microsoft was thinking of doing with Windows back in 2011. So anyway, let's just get started with the actual installation process, like we always do in these videos. And as always, I'm going to have all of the links that you're going to need down below, which is actually just going to be to one file, which is the actual ISO file of this build. And like I said, you can either get a 32-bit edition, a 64-bit edition, or a 64-bit edition with developer tools. And I'm going to be using VMware Workstation 10 just because it makes the whole process a little bit easier. But you can use this with any virtual machine software that you happen to have. And let's just get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up your virtual machine software and create a new virtual machine. And for VMware Workstation users, you're going to want to click on the typical option, and then you're going to want to click on Next. And you're going to want to select I will install the operating system later, just so that the virtual machine will be created with a blank hard disk. And then you're going to want to set the guest operating system as a Microsoft Windows and the version as Windows 8. Now it's okay if you don't have Windows 8, and if you don't, just set it to the latest version of Windows that your virtual machine software supports, whether if that's Windows Vista or Windows 7. And then once you have that selected, you just want to click on Next, and then you want to give it a name. So I'm just going to call mine Windows 8 Developer Preview. And then you're going to want to click on Next. And for the virtual hard disk size, if you want to make a disk that has 60 gigabytes of storage, you can, but honestly I think that's a little bit too much for a beta build of Windows. So I'm actually going to set this down to let's say 15 gigabytes. I think that's going to be plenty for this build. And I'm also going to store the virtual disk as a single file, and then you're going to want to click on Next. And now you're going to want to click on the Customize Hardware option right here, and if you want to, you can change the size of the memory. I'm just going to leave it at 1 gigabyte. If you want to, you can bring it up to 2. And then you're going to want to go down to the new CD DVD drive, and then you're going to want to use the ISO image file that you downloaded, and again that link is going to be down below. Alright, and once you have that selected, all you have to do is just click on the close button down here, and then click on finish, and it's going to pop up with a new virtual machine with the name as whatever you named it. And now what you're going to want to do is if you are using VMware Workstation, and I believe Player has this option as well, you're going to want to go up here, up at the top where it says VM, and you're going to want to go to Power and then Power on to BIOS. Now, if you are not using VMware, you're going to want to find a way to change your actual BIOS date back to the year 2011, because if you don't and you boot up into this build, you're going to find a lot of issues, mainly because it's not going to actually let you install the build. But anyway, like I said, you're just going to want to set the date to, I think, pretty much any date back in 2011 will work just fine. So I'm just going to leave it as 9/13 and then 2011, and then press enter, and then press F10 to save, and then press enter to confirm. And now it's going to restart once again, and it's going to begin loading the Windows files, and then you're going to see a pretty familiar looking Windows boot screen. However, it says Windows Developer Preview, but it still has I think the exact same animation that Windows 8 has when it boots up. Alright, so once it finishes booting up, all you have to do is choose your language, time and currency format, and your keyboard or your input method, and then you're just going to want to click on next, and then you're going to want to click on install now. Now you'll know that this part of the installation looks very similar to the Windows 7 installation, except the background of it is not that Windows 7 image that we had before. It's just this blue screen, and I guess they did that because it kind of fit in with the rest of Windows 8, at least at the time, or I don't really know why they did. But anyway, you can also see that this window up here still looks like it's Aero. But anyway, what you want to do here is just accept the Microsoft Windows Developer Preview license terms, and then you're going to want to click on next, and then you're going to want to click on the custom advanced option, and then choose your virtual hard drive, and then click on next. And I think that's basically all we have to do. Now it's going to begin installing Windows. It's going to look very similar to anyone who has ever installed Windows Vista 7, and I believe Windows 8 has this like this whole part of the installation is I think exactly the same. But yeah, this might take a while, especially if you are doing this on a real computer. But anyway, I'm just going to pause the video, and I'm going to come back once the installation has completed. Alright, so the first part of the Windows Developer Preview installation has been completed, and now it is going through its first boot process right here, where it is just going to get devices ready, and it's going to do all of that, and hopefully that shouldn't take that long, because it's almost done here. And I believe once this is done, we can actually start getting into the rest of the setup. And then after that, we will actually get to take a look at the actual operating system, which would be pretty cool. Because this build looks very different from the modern version of Windows 8 as we know today. There's a lot of things that they changed. For one thing, I think Aero was still in this build, and they took Aero out in like the final build, as I'm sure you all know. As well as there's still the older Windows 8 start button, and there's actually still a part of the Windows start menu. I don't know if all of it is there. I mean, I don't think they actually have the old Windows 7 start menu, but it's been a while since I've looked at this build, so we will just see what this is like once we actually get into it. So I think it's done here, setting up. Now it says that it is preparing, so we'll just let it do that. And now we get something that looks very similar to the modern version of Windows 8, where it's going to take you through a very modern UI style setup here. You know, it looks very flat, kind of shows you what this build of Windows is going to look like, because a lot of parts of this build look very similar to this. But anyway, let's just give it a name. Let's call it Windows 8 DP, and we'll just click on next. And for settings, we'll see what it has for us here by default. I think most of this is pretty fine. So we'll just, yeah, I think it's fine. So I'm just gonna click on use express settings. I think that's gonna be fine. And now what it wants you to do is to log on with a Windows Live ID. This is actually before that they actually changed them over to be called Microsoft accounts. This was back when they were called Windows Live IDs. And I think we can choose this option right here if you don't want to log on with your Windows Live ID. And we're going to choose the option which is the local account, which is very similar to the normal accounts that are in Windows 7. But basically, as I'm sure you all know, what Microsoft has been trying to do is make it so that all of your devices are in sync with each other, and to do that you have to sign in with your Microsoft account, or at this time your Windows Live ID. So I'm just going to choose the local account option. I just think that's a little bit better for a VM. So I'm just going to choose that, and now it's going to ask you for a username and a password. I don't think you have to put one in, and we'll see if it, yes, it's not going to ask you for a password, so that's great. And now it is going to begin finalizing our settings. And after this, I think this is it for the Windows 8 developer preview setup. It is apparently has to, oh no, it actually doesn't have to restart. But here we go, booting up into the Windows 8 developer preview. This screen right here looks very similar to the modern version of Windows 8. However, at the bottom, you'll notice it says Windows Developer Preview. Now, they did take that out in the final version, and they also made this look this whole screen, they made it look a little bit different. But anyway, now it says that it is preparing RPC, so I'm just going to let it finish doing that. Alright, so after a while it has finally finished preparing RPC, and now it is setting up personalized settings for the Windows desktop. And we should be booting up in here. Here we are at the Windows Developer Preview screen. And as you'll know, it instantly brings up the new Windows 8 start screen, kind of instantly, just to show you that this is where Microsoft was heading with Windows 8. So yeah, let's just kind of go through here and we'll just take a look at all this. I'm actually going to see if I can change this VM's resolution up a little bit, because it is a little bit low, and I want to see if we can get it up just a little bit. So we'll see here. We'll go to display, and we'll go to the adjust resolution option. I think we can change it. Yes, you can change it up here. So we'll go up to 1080p. If I can find that right up here, 1920 by 1080, and we'll apply, and I'll make this full screen for you guys here. So we'll click on Keep Changes, and OK. So yeah, this is the Windows 8 developer preview. You'll notice that it kind of looks very similar to Windows 7. However, all of the window titles have been centered, just like the modern version of Windows 8, and the Windows Start button down here looks more flat. And if you mouse over it, you get this where it says Start, Search, Share Devices or Settings, which is now over. Like in the modern Windows 8, this is over in the Charms menu, which is that little side menu, which I don't believe is in here, because I think if you mouse up here, nothing happens. So you will also notice that down in the bottom right hand corner, we actually still have the Show Desktop button, which is still here. And they actually took that out in the modern version of Windows 8. I think that you can actually still mouse over there into the corner, and it'll do the same thing with showing your desktop. But for some reason they wanted to take out this little thing. I don't know why. I guess it didn't really fit the like the rest of the interface. But yeah, this is the Windows 8 developer preview. This is just the Windows desktop. We can actually go down here and bring up what is called the dock here, I guess. Or no, actually, this is just to dock a giant keyboard, which looks huge because it's on a 1920 by 1080 display. But again, this is basically for tablets that don't have a physical keyboard attached to them. So this is basically for them, and apparently you can also mouse it around here and actually change the size of it, which can be very useful. And yeah, that's basically that. It has a pretty nice animation when it goes away there. So yeah, let's just take a look at the Windows 8 Developer Preview start screen, which looks kind of similar to the Windows 8 one. But what I want to show you is the apps, because the apps, they look very different in here. So let's start with Internet Explorer. Now, first of all, it actually says Internet Explorer when it starts. I don't think it does that now. I think this version of Internet Explorer 8 is based off of IE 9 or 10. I think, I don't really know how we can tell. Well, let's click on Show Content, and you see that there's a problem with this website's security certificate. You're gonna get that. But let's just go to google.com, and this whole interface down here looks very similar to the modern version of Internet Explorer, but they also added some things, and overall, I actually think this looks very similar to the modern version of Internet Explorer. Now, to get out of an app, normally in Windows 8 today we would mouse up here to the top, or we could actually switch apps by going up here, and you can't do that in this version. So you have to mouse down here and then click on the start button, or if you have a keyboard attached, press the Windows key and it comes up. So now let's move on to the Windows Store app, which I don't think was actually working in this build. Yeah, see, coming soon, Windows Store is not available, so we can't really take a look at that. But now let's move on to the Stocks app. Now, back then it was called Stocks, now it's called Finance in the modern version of Windows 8. And it actually looks very different. I believe that the modern version does not have this giant green background, and I don't know if these stocks are actually correct because of the date change and everything. But we can see, now I always have trouble using these apps because I can't figure out how to add stocks or bring up a menu. And what I found is that most of them you have to right click your mouse, and then down here you can click on add stock, then enter a symbol. We'll do Google, so G-O-O-G, then we can click add, and there's Google. We'll also add Apple, why not? It's AAPL for Apple. You can add that, get that in here. And so yeah, I wonder if this is new, news here. That's what I can't figure out, because it's not. Let's go to this now. See, if I click on that, it's going to open up in Internet Explorer, and this is going to open up Yahoo Finance. And I just want to see if this is new or not. I don't know. Yeah, oh, no, actually it is, because it was posted on September 11, 2014, so it is new. This whole article. So yeah, now we'll go back to that, and apparently you can actually switch apps, but you have to mouse over here in the side, not up here in the corner. You have to mouse just over here. So if I want to, I think I can snap apps. I can show you how that works in here. Here is snapping. You actually couldn't really snap two apps in the center. You can only snap one here and then one little one on the side in this build. And this is really small. It just looks kind of weird like that. But yeah, that is the Stocks app. If we open up the Windows Explorer, which again, this was back when it was still called the Windows Explorer. In the new version of Windows 8, they changed it to the File Explorer. I don't really know why. I guess just to make it sound better, or they just felt like it. I don't really know. But you can see that the actual overall interface of it looks very similar to Aero and Windows 7. They haven't made it flat yet in this build, and you'll see that basically everywhere on the Windows desktop. But when you move up here to the start screen, it looks a little bit different. I mean, it looks way like much more flat here and everything. Now, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on these apps and everything, but I think what we'll do is I just want to take a look at the Windows 8 control panel, and we'll take a look at this. Just, take a look at this here. This is the Windows 8 developer preview version of the control panel, and this is, this could be very confusing for some people, which is I think why that they changed it. But now, if you go down here in the bottom, it says more settings, and it opens up the desktop control panel, which still had everything in it. We can also go back here. Let's just take a look at the weather app, and it's going to gather the latest weather info. And yeah, this also looks very different from the modern weather app. And if we right click, I don't think it actually does anything. Oh, here it comes. So we'll click on let's say summary view. We'll see how this looks. Here we go. So you can get like a view of all your cities. It's kind of laggy for some reason, so I'll just kind of get out of it. So yeah, I mean, I don't really want to spend too much time in here, because there's a lot of apps we can take a look at. Up here on your user profile, this was basically it for this menu. I mean, now you can do more options up here, like you can actually shut down your PC from here, and back then you couldn't do that. And that was the other thing that was kind of confusing. There was no shutdown option like on the entire computer. You actually had to go and find it in settings, I think. Yeah, see over here, this is settings, and you had to go down here and then power and then shut down. So they also changed that in the modern version. So let's just take a look at running WinVer here. Let's do that, and it just says up here Windows Developer Preview. They didn't even have like an actual logo for it, which shows how basic and I guess early in development stages this was. But yeah, that is that. But yeah, guys, I think that is going to just about wrap it up for the Windows 8 Developer Preview installation video. Again, I would like to thank the Antivirus Reviewer for suggesting this build. And as always, guys, again, if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more content like this, definitely be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video.